Hello everyone, Joanne with StampingInTheValley.com, and welcome to my craft room. I made this beautiful card using the Painted Seasons stamp, and we're going to go over how to get that wonderful two-tone effect in just a moment using some sponge daubers. Remember, if you order from me, there are 2 free card kits. These are the ones for the month of March. There's a link below telling you all about it. No stamped images. That's a rule by Stampin' Up, and please watch the video below for that. Now we have the 3rd release of the celebration items. In my last video, I believe I went over this, and I'm so excited that they released just the paper. With a $50 purchase, you can get the Painted Seasons Designer Series paper for free. Isn't that nice? And then they added a bunch of new product. This is the Share What You Love embellishment kit, the Scattered Sequence Dynamic Textured Embossing folder, mini pizza boxes, you could get those for free, pearlized doilies, rich razzleberry velvet ribbon, that's 1/4 inch, the pink petal promenade designer series paper, that's some beautiful paper also, and then the delightfully detailed laser cut specialty paper. So those are all with a $50 purchase. You could get those for free. I'm most excited about this paper. I was so afraid that they were not going to break that bundle up. The other thing I want to show you is these items from the Celebration catalog have just been released yesterday. This beautiful stamp set, the Lily framelit dies, the Call Me Cupcake Thinlet dies, the Hop Around framelit dies, and the 4 Season dies, and the Story Label Punch. In my last video, I put some links in the description below to all of these items. I think that these are very important to have if you have received, you know, any celebration items, because those were all free, which is what we're going to use today. So to create this card, I used that Story Label Punch that you can now purchase, and this pairs with the Part of My Story stamp set, which you've seen me use this a lot. I love this right here. I'm so glad you're part of my story. I love that saying. So we're going to use that today. And then this embossing folder, which is in the 2nd release right here, the Country Floral Dynamic Textured Embossing Impression embossing folder. That's a lot to say, right? With a $50 purchase, you can get that for free also. And here again is the bundle. If you don't have this yet, and you do order $100 in product, you can still get the bundle with the stamp set and the paper. And then, you know, in another order, you could even go ahead and then just get the paper. I love the paper. I am featuring it in my card kits this month, as you can see right here, along with this embossing folder. Look at that texture on that. Isn't that beautiful? I love this paper. Okay. Anyway, so I used the Country Floral embossing folder for the background right here on Whisper White. I used Mango Melody behind that, and then I used some Granny Apple Green. So our base for the card is thick Whisper White cardstock at 11 by 4 1/4, scored at 5 1/2. And if you go over to StampingInTheValley.com, there's a link below to my website. There'll be the measurements for all of this on there. It'll just say measurement list. My website is very simple, guys. It just thanks you for coming by. Click on that big blue button if you want to place an order, and then I have a very short measurement list of what I've done on my cards, and then there's a display of everything that I've used, pictures, numbers, and prices, and it's linked right to my online store. So if you wanted to order an item, it goes down to the snail and the Tombow. You just click on that and it'll take you right there. It's very, very simple for you guys and for me also to use. I am not a computer genius. So let's get back to these measurements. My first layer then, after my thick Whisper White cardstock base, 11 by 4 1/4, scored at 5 1/2, it'll open like this. And then my first layer is Granny Apple Green, 5 1/4 by 4. The white layer here, the Whisper White, this is just regular Whisper White cardstock, is 3 by 3. And my Mango Melody right there is 3 1/4 by 3 1/4. This way it gives me an 1/8 of an inch border of color around that. That really set it off nicely. So this card, as you can see, I created, and I put the Granny Apple Green behind it, and it's flat. And it's a beautiful card. Not saying that it's not a pretty card. Look at those flowers. Oh, I can't wait to do that technique with you guys. I love doing it so much I did it on the envelopes. But I knew it just needed a little something. So I go to it's my go-to embossing folder, this Subtles embossing folder. It's a very subtle. It really, really is. But it gives the back a little something. So look at this card where it's flat, and then look at the Subtles. So I really like the embossed one. It's not that I don't like this one, it's just that this one has a little bit more something to it. So that's how we're going to put the card together today. I ran another one through the Big Shot, and I'll show you that embossing folder right here. And this line here is just not to accentuate the Stampin' Up! Logo, although it does, but it's to help you also to, when you put your paper in, to line it up straight. So isn't that nice that they do that? But here's that folder, and it's dynamic, so it's very thick. Both of these are thick embossing folders. Both of these are textured, dynamic, however long that name is. So the flower I got from the Painted Seasons right here. And this is a cling stamp set. So they have the nice clings in the back, and it's red rubber, so you don't need that, that foam mat. And I already showed you the label punch. I love this punch. I love the shape of this punch. So I showed you that. I used that. Now, let's bring in what we are going to do here. So here's our card base. And what I want to do with you guys is show you how to decorate this on the inside. So first I'm going to take the wonderful saying, "I'm so glad you are part of my story." And I am so glad that you guys are part of my story. I've got something new coming. Please stay tuned to this channel. Tell your friends, share this channel. I've got a little something new coming, and I'm very excited about it. I'll be designing things this afternoon. I hope to either introduce it tomorrow on my Facebook Live or just do a video about it, and then I'll tell you about it on my Facebook Live. But I'm really, really excited about it. I had an idea, and I'm ready for it, and I'm just really excited to do it with you guys. So this is the stamp right here, that beautiful flower. We're going to take a sponge dauber. This is Granny Apple Green, and this is Balmy Blue. I love Balmy Blue, so pretty. So the outside, I want it to be the Balmy Blue. So I take my sponge dauber, and I go into my Balmy Blue, and I tap around the edge here. Just tapping and adding color with the sponge dauber to the stamp. Make sure you get it to the edge. And then I'm going to take my Granny Apple Green and tap tap, and I'm going to color in the middle here. Now guys, I reuse my sponge daubers. After I'm done, I will take them and wash them. Wash the ink out with water, and these have been reused about 3 or 4 times already. So now this, because I've waited just a second, I'm gonna blow on it. Listen, and that re-wets the ink. That gives the ink a little bit more juice. And then I'm going to take this flower. I don't want to get it in that ink. We're going to use it again, and I'm going to stamp it right there. Isn't that beautiful? Look at that effect. Is that not fun? And sponge daubers, guys, are so inexpensive. I mean, like, there'll be that link over at my over on my website. They are really so inexpensive, and I'm using the Balmy Blue and the Granny Apple Green, but of course you can use any color that you have. Now I'm going to go back in with my Granny Apple Green. And it'd probably be okay if you didn't blow on it, but just because it sit a second, I do that with my breath, and then I just stamp I seem to be getting a very crisp image that way, and I really like it. Isn't that gorgeous? When you look at this card and then you open the inside, it just pops at you and just says, beautiful, and thank you. All right, now, let's see. I want to do the envelope. Well, we won't do the envelope. It's the same technique, okay, with the sponge daubers and just stamping on the envelope. Now let's put the card together. So due to the fact that this is embossed, I will use my Tombow. Whenever anything is raised, embossed, or has like nooks and crannies, I'm trying to see. I don't really think it matters which side with this embossing folder. I have to admit that. I think they're both fantastic. So I want to get right in the corner, but whenever there is indentation, you won't really want to use a liquid glue. I think this one is very subtle, which is why it's called the Subtles embossing folder, but I really believe that you could probably put this down with some snail, but I wonder in like a month or so, is it going to lift up? You know, is it going to lift on the edges? And I know with my Tombow that it's not. So my rule is if it's embossed, I use liquid glue. I use the Tombow. Now I've already done my little saying here and I've punched it out. The world needs more people like you. And I'm going to add this just down here. Just like that. Now again, I'm going to use my Tombow on this part, and as you can see in the embossing folder, I did not put that big indented flower in the middle right here. This is a very, very indented flower. I have it here. It's on every one of the card kits. I make sure that I position that in the middle for you guys because I just think it is gorgeous. But with this, I didn't want that. So I want to attach this to my Mango Melody. Right here. And I really like using the Tombow because I do have that wiggle room to get my spacing properly, you know. So sometimes I use it anyway because I have a tendency not to get things straight. So I'm just going to press this down, let that Tombow take hold. Now while that sets, I'm going to bring in, I did this flower and then I cut it out with the framelits. Remember, there's framelits now that go with this. Let me get those. Whenever I'm working with framelits, I put them in a little tray. I got this Italian tray at a flea market, so I use my, whatever framelits I'm working with, I put them in a little tray. I have a couple of trays, just in case I'm using a few sets. But here are the framelits. Here's the leaf, or the fern, and then this little leaf that I use. You've got two of those. There's two big ferns. There's the little one. There's a couple of those. There's a couple for the flowers. Two different styles of flowers. What's on the outside of the stamp set. And then, of course, the pine cone. Let's just take a look at that. Everything here but these dots, or these little star dots, everything here has a framelit. Isn't that wonderful? I love when you can use a whole set because then I feel like everybody's getting the most bang for their buck. Now I want to attach my little leaves underneath my flower that I created there, and I'm going to take, these are mini glue dots, and this is really how they come in a roll. I realize that I use mine from Paper Pumpkin all the time, but I thought I better show them how these really come when they order them. They don't come in the sheets. So I take my glue dot and I put it on the side that the ink is showing up. The side that the ink is showing up. And watch, I'm going project to glue dot, and I'm not touching really the glue dot. Just allowing the project to pick up the glue dot itself. So ink side up. And now I'm going to bring my flower in. Isn't that beautiful? And I'm just going to attach one going down and then two going up. And that's why the glue dots are the way that they are. So that you can just kind of position them on the back of the project, just like that. And then see, you can move them a little bit. That's great. Now on the back of here, I'm just going to add, again, a couple more glue dots just to adhere it to our project there. Actually, I'm going to do 3. There, that's plenty. Now I'm going to bring this in. And I like the 2 going up to the top and 1 on the bottom. Of course, you could do it that way. It doesn't matter. Well, however, whatever your eye likes, is nothing's right, nothing's wrong. And I'm just going to adhere that there. And really, you get enough dimension with everything being behind there that you don't need a dimensional. But we're going to put dimensionals here. That's why you don't want to like constantly pop things up. It makes it, first of all, it makes it very difficult to mail if you're going to mail it. But second of all, it really doesn't look right if everything is standing straight out. You have to have that, you know, you want a 3-dimensional look if you're not doing a flat card, you know, which those are beautiful also. So just peel the backs off of here. And we're going to add, we're done with this card. Isn't that beautiful? So we're going to add this. I want my 2 going up there. And I'm just going to add this to the front. Look how that Mango Melody really allows that project to pop up off the page. Isn't that beautiful? And then here's the inside. You know, I just can't stand it. Let's just do the envelope. I always say, I'm like, okay, no, we're good. But why not? This is fun. Let's just do it. We're going to take, and then you can watch me do it again. Just around the outside with the balmy blue or whatever color. You can mix and match any color. Make sure you get the tips on the outside. Then back inside with the Granny Apple Green. And how long is this taking me? 15 seconds? I'm not even going to blow on it. Let's see what we get. We got a beautiful stamped image. That is gorgeous. We're just going to complete the project and bring this around like that. And then Granny Apple Green in the middle. Beautiful. And I'm going to flip this over, and that's okay that it's upside down because it's the flower. Gorgeous. Absolutely beautiful project, guys. Fast and fun. You get to use a lot of product with this project, but it's not a difficult card. Really, the embossing folders and the ink are doing the work for you. You know, you really are just, yeah, the product is really doing it for you. I'm not going to bring in all the envelopes. I love the 2 with the subtles. This is the flat one. This is the subtles with the subtles embossing folder behind it. I really love it. So here's our cards for today. We made our beautiful envelope. I love that. And they're all inside. Look at that decoration inside. Isn't that beautiful? Please go to stampinginthevalley.com, click on the big blue button, order any and all of your Stampin' Up! Products. I sure do appreciate everyone tuning in with me. And my Facebook Live is at 3 o'clock on Sunday afternoons, and now there's always a giveaway. So please tune in with me or watch the replay before 8 o'clock at night. I always pick someone before 8 o'clock on my Facebook Lives, or around 8:30 I pick somebody. And you just have to make a comment, and I put your name in a hat, I pick it out. No big deal with it, and just kind of a little fun, and I'm happy to pass on some product to you guys, and I really appreciate you tuning in with my Facebook Live. So that's where my giveaways are now. They're over on my Facebook Live on Sunday afternoon at 3. Again, thanks again for watching this YouTube channel, Stamping in the Valley 1. There is a 1 after it. That's the YouTube channel address is Stamping in the Valley 1. Or you could always type my name in and you get all my videos. Joanne Maddy, M-A-D-D-I, and I do appreciate all of you all watching, and all my customers, my downlines, and my Paper Pumpkin subscribers. Thanks again for watching. Happy crafting!